Okay, the president's coming. As we wait for him, I want some reaction to what I just said. Art Laffer's with us, former Reagan economist. Ryan Payne is with us, president of Payne Capital Management. Art, to you first. Do you think, am I right here that the president is going to go after the squad, is going after socialism, and to make those young people care about the booming economy?
Of course he's going to do that. And the young people are far smarter than other people give them. I mean, the Democrats are treating young people like robotons and stupid. And the young people aren't. They want to earn their way in life. There's nothing more fulfilling and gratifying than earning your own way in life and really accomplishing something. It's just wonderful. And young people really want it. I lecture all across colleges all across the U.S. and you know, these kids are really into this stuff, and they love it. And they know very well that free college, free everything can't be done for everyone. They understand that, and I think Trump should go into that and try to bring them over to his camp because I think they're natural allies with him.
But it's an uphill struggle, isn't it? When you talk to a whole lot of young people and you say, oh, I'll give you free college, I'll forgive your student debt, we'll give you a much higher minimum wage when you get out of college. I mean, that is attractive, isn't it, Art?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't really think so. I think they know it's all baloney.
Really? I gotta say, when I was that age,
yeah, I do.
If I had student debt around my neck, I would have taken the easy way out. I know I would. I mean, in my early 20s, I would have done that.
Well, they would love that. Don't get me wrong. They would like to get it free, but they know it's not a good policy for the country, and they know it's not going to happen. And they know they're going to have to earn their way in, and they want the chance to prove themselves. These kids are really competitive. They want to prove themselves, and they don't want to just sit back and get like me fat and old and not work.
You are
they
neither,
want to really
actually.
do it and accomplish something.
All right, Art, I want to bring this up. Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, running for the presidency. She says the economy is going to collapse, that the odds of economic downturn are high. Ryan, is there any merit to her argument?
I think she's going to be wrong like most economists have been wrong, because most economists have been basically saying we're going to go into a recession now, some for like a decade now. And I think the thing that we discount more is this economy can expand for a long, long time, Stuart. You know, the exact opposite. Okay.
Now, Senator Warren also wants to introduce legislation that would drop student loan debt for 42 million Americans, that's up to $50,000 each. I don't know who pays. Do you?
I mean, we have a $22 trillion deficit. We just keep adding it on at this point. I mean, it's getting kind of silly in regards to what our deficit already looks like. So until interest rates go up and that financing of that debt gets to be more, I guess, you know, of a problem, I think, you know, who knows what could happen.
Would you think it would be appealing to youngsters fresh out of college with student debt round their neck? Hey, we'll take it off your back.
I think yes to, that's a, you know, it's a small coterie of people right now. Millennials now, most millennials are getting into their mid-20s to, you know, late 30s. You got to remember, most millennials now are getting old. They're becoming working stiffs. So I don't think, you know, student debt's the one thing on their mind anymore like it may have been before. You're talking more like Generation Z.
Okay. Art Laffer, Rashida Tlaib, one of the members of the squad, she wants a $20 minimum wage. What do you think that would do to America's economy if it were imposed on a national level?
Let me just first say Ryan is completely correct on all the answers he gave.
Thanks,
Great
Art.
answers. Now, with regard to Tlaib on $20 an hour, you know what that $20 an hour, let's take a look at New York. A $20 an hour minimum wage is very different than a $20 minimum wage in Kentucky. And a $20 minimum wage in Kentucky would be sort of like a $40 or $45 minimum wage in New York. More than a quarter of all the population in Kentucky earns less than the $20 minimum wage. I mean, that would be the biggest unemployment problem ever in these places like Kentucky and Missouri and other states like that that have a very low cost of living and where the average wages are much, much lower than they are in New York City. So I think this is just outrageous what she's saying, and it should be laughed off the stage completely. If you're going to do a minimum wage, at least adjust for cost of living. I mean, that has to be done. You can't have a U.S. minimum wage where it's the same in every state, every city, every place.
All right, well, that's taken care of all that. Art Laffer, Ryan Payne, gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us this morning.